I don't want to get started because I have a lot of stuff going on today. First thing I want to talk about is not taking calls. Okay, so we got a call the other day. Came in 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically the calling the people who were not busy, who were not scheduled on something in the plumbing side. Nobody wanted to take the call. And the reason they didn't want to take the call was because of what it was. They always ask, what's the call? What is the call? Well, the call was install or give an estimate to install a customer supplied faucet. I'm going to say this and just be as blunt as I can. It's not acceptable. What's going to happen if you choose not to take a call and you're not busy, and you're the next person on, the rotation or whatever the case may be, when calls do come in, good calls come in, you're not getting them. I'm just going to skip you right by and go to the person who wants to work. We can't make money. We don't even have an opportunity to get out to the house if we don't go to a call. It's just like an HPC, which is, a warranty call or flushing a water heater. We make money on those calls every day that we go out to them. And getting into the customer's home, especially in this situation, it's a new customer who wants us, they found a faucet they like, they want someone to install it. We get out there, that's just the beginning. What about the angle stop and supply? Supply is most likely going to be new anyway, but what about the angle stops? They may need to be changed out. If that one needs to be changed out and it's old, the rest of them might need to be changed out. You could very easily be up to a couple $1,000s by the time you get done taking an inspection, seeing how old the water heater is and seeing how the other issues are. Pressure regulator, another thing to very easily check when you go out to a call. So I don't want to be hearing people saying, I don't want to take a call, or no, I don't want that call. If you wanted to sit around and do nothing, do that somewhere else, because it's not going to happen. You're just not going to get calls, plain and simple. Number 2, driving safely. I got a complaint yesterday. One of our people in their vehicle basically, cut somebody off, didn't turn the turn signal on, just, no worries in the world. You have to drive safely, you have to use your turn signals, pay attention to the road, we need to be driving safely. No cell phones, all the good stuff while we're driving. We've talked about that many times. But, if we get a complaint on somebody, it's going to be a conversation, a ride up, and then no longer allowed to ride in our vehicles or drive in our vehicles. That's just the way it's going to be. So basically, what's been going on lately, I wanted to kind of just give you guys a little bit of information. Some of you know, some of you don't. But to get calls until we can get the money for our advertising to just take off the way we want, especially for the plumbing side, because it's been tight, especially if we don't run calls. We can't make money if we don't run calls. We're going through the database of all the customers we have and trying to see what we can do to get more jobs. And it's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes, because you got to get a hold of somebody, and a lot of people are working, they're out, they're not necessarily home, they don't answer the phone. And as you guys probably have personal experience in this, when somebody's calling you who you don't know, a lot of times you don't answer your phone because you probably you think it's a sales call or whatever, so why answer the phone, right? And we're really not trying to sell them anything over the phone. All we're trying to do is get them to understand, hey, we owe you this, we owe you that. If it's a water heater flush, it's a tune-up for your system, we owe this to you. You've already paid for it because you bought the system from us, or whatever the case is. We just want to get out there and take care of it for you. If you have air scrubbers, or if you have, we need to change out bulbs, and whatever we need to do to take care of the customer so that their warranty stays intact. So that's something else that you guys, when you are out at a call, can make the most of a call, is making sure, when you look in the notes, is there anything that is missing? In other words, did we do any other work there? Just because you're going out for an HVAC call, did we do plumbing work there? Are they owed a water heater flush that no one's caught yet? Because we have 3 years of data to go through and 17,000 people, and we go through them, and we may get 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 100 that even answer the darn phone or respond. We're also trying to email them and text them if we can. We're doing other things, but still the response rate's pretty low. It's probably going to be 2 or 3% at the most, right? That's pretty much how anything works when it comes to making calls. So it's good for you guys to take a look at what other calls we've done while we're out there, number one. And if you see something, let dispatch know, hey, these guys are owed a water heater flush. I just talked to them. Can we get them on the schedule? All right, and then let them know, hey, my guys are going to call you to schedule that. You're owed this water heater flush. So if we sold them a water heater and they don't, if you guys look at the way that it's written in the system, if you sell them a water heater, in particular, certain people write it up a different way. They may not even sell an HBC, but still, the water heater flush needs to be done every year per the manufacturer's recommendations, right? For warranty purposes, so that the water heater lasts as long as it's supposed to last. Right? So it goes the other way from plumbing to HVAC. If you see that we did HVAC, put an air scrubber in, whatever the case is, we need to do a service for them, because make sure that, hey, we care about what we're doing for you and what work we do for you and what we owe you. And then the bottom line is that gets us in the house. And if we get in the house, now we have an opportunity. We've got to make the most out of every single opportunity, and that's what I mean by making the most. Looking at all the notes in there that you can see that look like any other work we may have done that we may owe them something, okay? So you can ask the question, hey, have you had your water heater flushed this year? It needs to be done every year for the manufacturer's warranty to be valid. We'd be more than happy to send someone out and take care of that for you. It just takes about a half hour, 45 minutes, right? That kind of thing. And to kind of add to that so we can go forward in a better way, I want to start making sure, and that's why I kind of have my computer here, I wanted you guys to see. You guys see these tags, say Home Protection Club, so on and so on, right? Right now, I think that's the only one I see on here. Here's the air scrubber right here, UV light checkup. Okay? There's tags in our system. So if you go into a customer's name, all right, and I'm telling you this so you guys kind of understand what happens. If you go into this little deal right here, you see these tags up here? Hydrojetting opportunity, potential member. You can scroll down there, air scrubber, UV check, okay, so all of these things, there's so many things that are in here. Hold for parts, advisors, preventative maintenance, furnace, preventative maintenance AC. All of these different things are in here. If we owe them something, RO filter replacement, tankless descaling, all of these things are in here. There's so many of them, and if you click on that, it now puts it into the system. So another way that would be easier for us to have recurring events, in other words, I can do reports on a monthly basis and say, for this month to this month, who do we have that has this tag? And then we can look in our notes and say, okay, did we go out to them? When's the last time we were out to them? Are they owed something? That'll make it pretty easy for us. So when you guys are doing, on a job and you see this, or you're doing it, you're installing something, let's make sure we put a tag or that it has a tag on it. And I'm going to try to do the same thing for dispatch and have them do the same thing. But if we're all kind of watching each other, it's going to make it so much more beneficial for us as we go further on down the line next year, for an example. It'll already be in the system. We can do a report every month, and we can just say, okay, here's what we need to do for this week, because this is what we did last month. And we can try to get as many of them scheduled as we can. It makes it a lot easier than trying to find right now like we are needles in haystacks. We have to actually go into every single day, go through the calls, see what calls we had, see what work we did, go through notes. There's quite a bit to go through to try to find this out. This would make it a lot easier, I think, for us going forward.
Can we schedule those out as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you guys are in your job, that's
So
all you
can
do.
I-
You go into the edit and just add a tag. That's it.
And we can set a time schedule for 'em?
No, basically what it's going to do is once that tag, okay, so if we're owed that, all I can do is I'm just going to do a report, and the report's going to show me whoever has that tag, and that allows us to just to follow up on a regular basis on anybody who's tagged. When we go into them, when we're calling, when we call a customer, we call a customer through. Let me see here. I'll show you how. And I just changed this for Kevin. I'm not sure if Kevin's used it yet, or if he even knows I changed it for him. But his phone number, his cell phone number now, If he goes in and goes to one of these numbers, and he clicks on that number, it's gonna call the, well, I'm gonna do it right now just to show you how it kind of works. You wanna call this. You hit OK, his phone's gonna ring, okay? And it's gonna basically call the customer, and it will record the call. Okay, so now it's attached to the thing. So now when I go into, I'm gonna cancel it because I don't wanna call the customer right now. But if I go into, if we do that, and then I go into the customer's name, when I see that tag, for an example, I'm gonna see when the last call was done. Okay? And I can see who did it, I can listen to the call, I can do everything, right?
Also the reports, which is history of the
Yeah, the report's in here. So if you basically in this particular customer, it's a brand new customer, you can see we haven't done anything since 5/10, we've had a couple calls.
Okay.
But if it was a customer on this, when you click on their name, it gives them everything. If you have pictures, all the jobs you've ever done for them, everything is on there. Okay? So if we want to record a call, that's the best way to record the call. Is you click on the actual phone number on Service Titan. As long as it's to your phone number, it'll automatically call and record the call. Okay? Everybody get that? Let's see if there was anything else. Okay, so the next thing is you know, the fin product that Kevin talked about on Wednesday. For those of you who weren't here or didn't see the video, I've ordered 2 of them, so we're going to have them here in stock so we can get them installed a little faster, and hopefully that'll help. But we want to start passing that out. Anybody, I've also done that where I went through just a certain time period, and anything that we've done reroutes or pinhole leaks on that I can find in the system, I'm kind of I can do reports on basic things like that. So that's another important thing. Make sure your tasks, because I've seen a lot of tasks that say miscellaneous drain repair or whatever. It's not specific enough. So if you have a task, if it's a slab leak or a pinhole leak or something like that, when you're putting in your task, just make sure it's just not a miscellaneous repair, because that's like finding a needle in a haystack. I'm going to be looking through each one of them, trying to read all the notes. I mean, it could take me forever. So if you have the right task, if there is a task in there, try to find the right task for the actual job. It'll make it a lot easier so I can go by those tasks as well a lot of times, and I can find certain information. So the ones that I did find, you know, we're calling and trying to see if they're interested in it, and emailing, texting, whatever we can for the fin. But that's just another thing I wanted to kind of throw out at you.
And if the task doesn't exist, let us know.
We'll create it.
We'll create it, and then that way we can start tracking it. You know, and it'll be easier for you in the future to, and I could do them right there on the spot. You could call me and say, hey Kevin, can you create this task? I'm doing this thing. And then I could do it, and then I could put it to where it becomes a tag as well.
Okay.
Like specialty filters and stuff like that?
Well, I don't know if we're going to create a tag for specialty filters, but in the equipment section,
Notes.
we can write in the so in other words, I can go to a job and I can click on where it says locations, because you know they could have multiple locations, and I click on that and it'll show me filter size, it'll show me model numbers, serial numbers, types of equipment, you know, some very detailed information. So if you have that information, that's where we want to store it in the same. We want to keep everything in the same place. So now a lot of times what I have to do is look at pictures to see what kind of filter they have. And I'm kind of like, oh, that could be a 16, that could be a 20, you know, and you know, I'm trying to measure it with my eyeballs on a picture, you know. And so, I don't know if that's more of 12 or 16, you know, it just, so for continuity purposes, and, you know, for you guys, I mean, gosh, God darn, you want to show up prepared, right? And you want to have that right filter. You don't want to have to go drive for it. You've just lost all your money in the minute that happens. So, not only that, but the customer's time is very valuable. So, every time we go there, if we don't have it in locations, give it to dispatch, me, Ellen, whoever, And we'll get it in there. I mean, because, yeah, we really need to clean this up. We're paying, this is the super duper, Mac Daddy of
Yeah.
software. And we're not using it.
We're using a
Yeah.
quarter of it, if that.
Yeah, and it just,
3%.
we need to step it up and start using it. This is just amazing. Like, this phone call thing is just so awesome, because nobody knows what I said yesterday to
Right.
these people. And and then I have to write the notes in, what did I say? So that's a good feature. I like that feature.
So this
can we
here
access the
is an
phone
example
calls
of that, Ryan.
Yes,
Okay.
we can go in and listen to the phone calls.
Okay.
Here's
I've
an
tried to
example of
previously,
the
and I
filter
wasn't
thing.
able to.
So per Ryan, to return 531, to replace filter and get into attic to check the furnace,
Right.
okay? So I'd like to know,
Look at the pin notes.
well, I can see the pen notes, but everything, see how everything's there? Okay, so we got, see how you have filter, you did put in here 20 by 30 by 1. Okay, so basically now, when Mike, I think this is Mike's job, who's ever going on.
And
Mike
how many
Ryan,
of
both
them?
of you guys. So, by having the notes in here, that helps. You have to read into this, right? The other thing is when we go into the customer's name, and like Kevin was just mentioning, okay, so we have pictures, we have all of this here,
Right.
okay? We have it, we have all of our attachments, invoices, pictures, whatever, here's photos,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So, basically, estimates and so on are in here, projects, calls, everything should be listed in here, locations, payments, everything.
Mhm.
So,
Click on locations. The address.
okay, 6 Via V and Dana Point.
Now scroll all the way down. Did anything come up?
Recurring events, AC tune-up, water heater flush, furnace tune-up.
Okay, so what should be there is model number, serial number of the equipment, and filter sizes.
And that's under equipment, so that's what you have to do under
Yeah,
equipment.
so
when
we
you're-
gotta put that in, we gotta internally in the office put all that stuff in, because I don't know that techs can do that out in the field, maybe they
Yeah,
can.
basically what they're gonna do in that case, let me come back here really quick,
It's
just so you guys can see, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Got notes, files, forms, right here. So when you go to files, you go to forms, whenever you put, let me see, where is it at? Home plumbing inspection, water heater tune-up, I think it's this one here. So this one here, if you create this form, I'm gonna put it up here. It lets you basically put in anything that you need to put in on here. Okay? From water pressure, I mean, everything. There's everything from kitchen and HVAC is all in here. Okay?
As long as the.
So you can put notes in every, see how, this is for putting notes in. If I wanted to put notes or add a picture, this is add a picture, or I can put notes, do both.
Is there a way to do a find search on that?
What do you mean a find search?
Oh, that looks like a very long list of things, and if I'm doing that on my cell phone,
Well,
it
it's
takes a long
by
time to get
category, it's by category.
Okay.
So all you gotta do is look at the, see how it says bath, toilet, see kitchen. So the first thing's gonna show up here, water heater, you're gonna go through, this is basically for a water heater, but it's gonna go through a safety check house. Water pressure, gas, da-da-da-da, water softener, everything's just kinda categorized. By kitchen, bath, lavatory, so on, tub, shower, miscellaneous. So even if you wanted to go to miscellaneous, if that's where you want to go straight to, that could be the real easiest. If you have something real simple to do, you're not doing a whole house plumbing inspection. You could put your notes in there, additional comments, write what the miscellaneous is. Takes 20 da-da-da-da filter, and it'll be right there. So then when you go to that back page, like we just did a second ago, it'll be right there. Really,
Mike-
really easy and simple.
Mike, you just made a comment that that'll only show up if,
It's in the service Titan no matter what, if you go under forms, but if you guys actually put your task in for AC tune-up,
Right.
it becomes a required form, and you can't close the job.
Well, you don't have to put anything really in there. You can put a dot and then save it and be done.
Right.
So the point is, use it. The tool is there, and the more information we have about your job and what needs to be done, the better for the next guy that goes out, or for you, because you're not going to remember every customer you've gone to this year, last year, and the year before.
Right.
You know, you might get out there and go, oh yeah, this is that one that has this after you get there, and then you gotta go run for parts. It's a specialty filter, it's something whatever, right?
Just a quick suggestion,
Yeah.
you need to add a form in there for when we do a startup or a new install.
Uh-huh.
You need to have a commissioning checklist, and the reason why, when I go back there 6 months later, cause they say it's not cooling, if the guy hasn't taken pictures of his gauges or wrote his notes out, I don't know what any of the benchmark numbers were for this system.
And
I don't know what to
I understand you,
expect.
but there's enough information, if you take a picture and put a note in there, that's the best way to do it. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I mean, I can
Picture can't
create
say
form after
everything
form
I'm
after
looking
form
at.
after form, but who's gonna fill them out? If they don't fill them out, I don't really know, you know what I mean? But pictures, there's a lot of jobs that don't have any pictures in them, and that hurts the next guy who goes out. So the pictures are the easiest thing to do on here, because it shows how you left the system, if there's something that was already there, you know, we get a picture of it, because the next guy goes out and they say, oh, that wasn't there. Well, yes, it was. Here's the picture. We were here like last year. Look at the picture. We can prove a lot more with a picture than we can with what we wrote in there.
And that maintenance form is, as far as a tune-up goes, it gives me absolutely no information as the next tech, except for red light, green light. I need to know the amps, I need to know superheat, I need to know subcool, I need to know discharge temperature, supply, static, return
But you can put
static.
comments in any of that.
I
So
think
yeah,
all
the
that's-
picture may not do everything for you, but it's gonna do a lot more than just writing a whole book of stuff. What I'm trying to say is if you take pictures, number one, that's gonna help everybody in a lot of ways. Number two, you can put comments in there. You don't have to, I mean, you can type in all the comments. You don't have to just click the colors, you know, the
I
red light, green
believe to
light.
the right of those colors, you're able to.
Yeah, like
You
a,
can put in notes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can't put in notes.
that's what I was saying,
Yes,
a
and
little
you
thing,
can
it
attach
shows like a
pictures
little
with
note
it.
thing. Let me just get back over there. Okay, so see these things right here?
Yep.
You click on that, put your notes and a photo, that's it. It's that simple. The red light, green light is just an option. Is it good, bad? Okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is you add a picture, put your notes. It has this temperature, has this, you know, pressure, whatever the case is. Put it in there and it'll be attached to the record. So we know exactly what was there when we got there last time.
And all that I'm saying is that that form can be tuned so that that information is on the face page, where
Well,
compressor
we don't
amps-
have that kind of control of this system, sorry. I mean, we didn't make it. But I'm just saying, it'll be on that back page, and then you just have to go into the form and scroll, and that's the only way that they have it now. I mean, they're not gonna just customize it for us and not any, you know what I mean? Because it's a very expensive system, and a lot of people are using this system. And it just takes us going in and looking at the stuff once we put it in. It'll be on that back page with a history, but they're not gonna customize this and say, I want it here, and move everything, you know, they're not gonna be able to do that for us. Not at this point. I mean, we're not that custom. It's already expensive enough for this program. So, but I mean, I like that. Man, I'm glad you have feedback on it. I just, you know, I'm just trying to be realistic and say, you know, it's not something I think they're going to do at this point. What happened?
We created that form, by
Yeah,
the way.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the form we created, but I'm saying I'm not. We may have created the form, and I don't know what just happened. But them putting it on the front page, I don't see that happening. And I don't know what happened here. It's kind of got too dark.
Restroom.
Okay, so anybody have any questions or anything? Because I have an interview here in about 2 minutes. And I want to make sure I don't hold the guy up. Yeah,
And yesterday you give me sir chance to practice on our system,
uh-huh.
and then I take the test. We have an option over there. If even we have like a 3 years old customer or
Mhm.
whatever we have, if we don't have any information, we can add the information on.
Yes.
And then it's kind of like this. I love to be going one more step front of the customer, not the one step back behind of the customer. So you are very right. It's very good when we, Mike said, we have a record and history about what's going on and then what we did before. We are one step front of the customer. If we don't know, customer starting like put a guard and starting one by one making complaint. Oh, you were here many times and you don't know where is the fitter or what's going on with you, something like that. So The history is very important for me, guys. If you got a chance and then take a picture, whatever, at least one step you can go farther than customer. It's really good to have the history.
Yes, it is.
It's really good, so.
Okay. And again, I just want to thank everyone who did come to the meeting today, because it does, makes it a little more worth my time and anybody else's time who's here. And Monday, we're going to talk more about these meetings, and I'm still trying to figure out a couple of things. I've come up with a couple of ideas, but I haven't figured it out. Either there being an incentive or the opposite for those who don't come. But we definitely need to, make these things a little more important so everyone gets the information. We're sure they get the information. I mean, we're all part of a team, and I like getting everybody's feedback because it does help, and that's how we're going to improve and grow as a company. So I do appreciate you guys coming. Thank you.
Thank you.